Good morning, small players. Welcome to another episode of Pre-Market Scanning, where we go over our morning gapper, review the stocks that are on the list, and run our technical analysis to determine support and resistance levels. I'm feeling a lot better today. My voice is still not 100% back, but I hope that I'm a little more pleasurable to listen to. Okay, let's remove the old drawings on the stocks that we're reviewing. Not a very busy scanner this morning. I purposely waited a little longer. It's just about 8 o'clock that I'm starting this. But still not that many results. So we'll review what's here and then, we'll just continue monitoring the scanner throughout the morning for anything new that comes up. And then definitely, pay attention to the momentum scanner once the bell rings. Okay. I want to overdo the lines here because a lot of it is just reaction to VWAP and EMA 20. This is forming sort of a long flag. The problem is it broke the flag here once, not a lot of resolution. Broke it here again, not a lot of resolution. It does have this long flag, but it's a little harder to trust the break. This one even had volume increase. This one didn't. I'm sorry. Yeah, a little hard to see what setup to trust here. Probably VWAP bounce. It's almost there, but I think VWAP bounce. I think EMA 20 bounce. The key here is going to be waiting for volume increase on whatever setup you're trading because it has had quite a few fake outs. And then definitely this is going to be an easier setup if it breaks above 975 because that's a squeeze level. And that setup I like a lot because it has so much room to high of day. So yeah, definitely I'd take that. Anything before, we'll see. Depends on the volume. I'm just going to leave those. We'll review them in a second. This chart is, at the moment, not interesting because it's below all indicators. But it's one of those charts that we like in terms of how much room it has to high of day. So if we get a break above VWAP, that would be a trade for me right to here and here. Before that, I mean, this is just ugly at the moment because it's constantly making lower lows. This EMA 20 line serves as resistance and is descending, so it keeps pushing it lower and lower. This level seems to be important, so if it does drop to this level, we could do a reversal trade there. We can do a reversal trade there, depending where the CMA 20 line is, because it keeps descending. So by the time the stock drags all the way here, the EMA 20 could be right on top of it. So then it wouldn't make sense to take that trade because that's the resistance. But that could be a potential reversal trade. And you guys know the way we trade bounces, you don't set an order ahead of time and wait for it to hit it on the way down because it can literally just hit it and stop you out, right? For a bounce, you need it to drop here. You need to see buyers coming in. You need to see the tape flash green. You need to see the volume increase. You need to see it move up. You follow other buys. You're not the first one to buy. You don't buy here. You don't buy just on the way down. You wait for the bounce and buy on the way up. That's what we do. We trade momentum and we follow the trend. We buy on the way up. Okay, so that would be the reversal potential, and then the breakout view up. And before that, I don't know, maybe this level. This is just mainly responding to EMA 20, but if we do trade the reversal, we take profit on EMA 20, then profit here before VWAP, and then on VWAP break. And then VWAP break is also an add for those levels. So that's that for IO. I'm not even gonna add it on the watch list because it's not setting up a trade right now. Once it gets to either one of the levels that could trigger a trade, Thinkorswim will notify me. GFIA, GFAI, we actually have been trading this quite a lot. It has a flat top on 258. I like those setups. See, all these 3 candles have a high of 258 and they're 5-minute candles. We like that. That's a good setup because then a break above the flag break can cause a squeeze. And this one also has quite room to have day. So my trade here would be, if it hits 259, that would be the entry. Stop loss would be below EMA 20. Note, if we're doing this pre-market, you just keep in mind where your risk level is, but you don't have a true stop loss because there's no stop orders pre-market. Then profit taking would be right before VWAP, and then really this level, and then 3. That would be the trade plan for that. And that's a flat top breakout. I actually really like those setups. I'm gonna put that on here. We can set an alert, but this is probably gonna, actually it's on 59. This is probably gonna break pre-market, so the alert won't work. So we have to watch it. Come on. Okay, so I added there. FLGC, another stock that has been popping up on the scanner quite a lot. So definitely interested in this. Actually, it could currently be making a VWAP bounce, which is a trade. So yeah, so like take VWAP breakouts, but this is also a way to trade them, wait for the breakout, and then wait for it to go down and test VWAP as support. It seems like 5 is a very key level because that's where the fight's happening between shorts and longs. This one still has a little bit of a spread. There's not a lot of volume. Normally in the pre-market session, I like to wait until 1 million to trade. Trade sooner if there's no spread, but this one definitely has a spread, so could be a little bit harder of a trade. Might need a little more time, for later in the morning, but definitely interesting. When the chat room told me this one's breaking. It's a flat top break. And I like it. I like those setups. It's early in the morning, it's slow, but I'm not really seeing a lot of volume coming in, but I mean, I would still, it's hard for me to resist those. I can resist flat top breakouts and 5-minute flag breaks. Those are my weakness. I see them, I trade them. So this one, we're saying the volume's a little low. So it's a little harder of a trade. There's a 10-set spread. So that's going to make it a little more complicated. See, when the volume picks up, the spread closes, which is fine. The problem is if you're trying to get out, if the trade goes against you, normally if you're a long bias trader, when the volume slows down, that's when the trade goes against you. So then you try and get out. Here, look. So if you're trying to get out now, you have a 20-cent spread. What do you do then? You end up losing on a winning trade or losing a lot on a losing trade. So the spread is just a little tricky right now. I'm definitely interested in trading this, but we'll have to wait for volume to pick up a little more. And then we can trade VWAP bounces. We can trade breakout trades. We can trade EMA 20 bounces. That's a nice trade. Yeah, it's a little, it's just tricky to trade with a spread like that. And this one, we traded it yesterday. It gave quite the move. Right now, it doesn't really do it. It's not really doing much. It's not doing anything. There's no volume, so I'll just leave it alone. We'll see if the volume picks up. We can analyze it. See? Flag breaks. Flat top breakouts. And obviously, when the volume's slow, it's still early in the morning. It's not moving very violently, so you don't overstay your welcome. You take your profit, At this point, you should have 50% of your trade out, and your risk level should be above your entry. So you should plan, if it gets to 60, to just get out, to not give money back. Break above VWAP could be an ad. These sorts of setups also you can find very frequently. Flat tops. I know, what did I want to see? I wanted to see this one. We've been trading this one so much. My chart is so messy, so I'm just going to remove everything. 521 is a level that we did together, actually, you and me, you guys. One of the mornings, we charted it as a key area for squeeze. Yesterday, it almost got there, and then short sellers were able to defend it. Obviously, it had multiple squeezes yesterday, but that's just something that we had identified in the past, which I'm just going to leave on the chart because it's useful now that it's back there. These, obviously, small caps are very volatile, right? And when you see those alerts or when you see some of our old lines, that helps you determine why I never hold these overnight. Because as crazy of upward moves that they have the downward moves just as much, if not more. And it's just not worth it. I'll rather just trade it on the day that it's hot. Okay, so these are the levels. We can trade breakouts or bounces. Actually, would probably just trade a break above VWAP on this one, but it could do reversals here or here for the reversal traders. The reason why I wouldn't be running to trade reversal on this is because it's not even on scan. So I don't know if traders are watching it. I just had it on the watch list from yesterday and I saw it has a lot of volume, so I figured I'd chart it. But I wouldn't trade reversal on something that no one else is watching. And then OCGN also, it's not, oh, it just popped on the scanner, okay. So I'm just going to remove the bonus here too because we've traded this thing so much as well. Just going to see how this is doing. Ha! Someone was doubting my flat top in the chat room because I told them. And they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Okay, very big selling pressure here. Just wanted to look at the tape because it's probably going to be a trade all day, so I wanted to see where short sellers start coming in. Break above 20. Oh, is it going to break over? Break above 20 is, yeah, a squeeze level because they very violently defended it, and here it is, they're squeezing. Let's look at the 1 minute chart. So now at this point, if you run out of shares, you can take a bounce on this level for a trade. You can, I mean, bounce on 20 is a little riskier. I wouldn't do that. But you can also do a 1 minute flag break for an ad. If it drops here, that's an ad. I mean, even 3 because it's a psychological number. That's the other thing when a stock goes parabolic. Actually, maybe we should talk about this for 1 second. So let's say you looked at this, you felt a little iffy, you didn't enter, then the stock does this, which is a 30% move in 10 minutes. So you're like, okay, I missed it. Like, what do I do now? So then what people normally do, well, I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of beginners do, which is really wrong, is they'll be like, okay, I missed this one. I'm going to go and try and find another stock that's going to do this. Wrong. Everyone's looking at this stock. Look at this volume. Look closer. Don't look away. You missed it? It doesn't matter. Even if you got this move, you would already be out looking for a re-entry because you don't buy here and hold forever. It gave you this 30% move, you're out, right? We saw a lot of sellers at 320, out. Maybe you traded a 320 break because you saw, remember how we said a break about that level is going to be key, shorts are going to get squeezed. Okay, if you traded the squeeze, you're mostly out now. Maybe you're holding some to 3.5 because it's a psychological L. Maybe you're holding like your last third of shares, but you need to look for a re-entry. So even if you caught the move, you're looking for a re-entry. So if you missed the move for whatever reason, maybe you saw it but weren't confident enough in it, maybe you were trading something else, whatever the case may be. If you missed the move, it doesn't matter. Everyone's looking at this stock now. Look for re-entry. So we charted here, bounce here, bounce here, bounce here, break above flag. This is your flag break, right? Okay, you missed that. What's the other one? Again, bounce here, bounce here, bounce here, break for the next flag. Don't look away when a stock is obvious. This is what we trade for. This is what we live for. Also, you guys remember, every test of support is weaker than the one before. So every test of support is weaker than the one before. If you tested the first test of, if you traded the first test of 20, you're in a better position than trading the second. Third tests we never trade because third tests are short setups. So short sellers will short a third test of 20. This is what we live for. We live for the obvious stock of the day. We live for this insane volume that we know everyone's looking at this at the moment. Then we know our technical analysis is going to work because everyone else is going to look at the same setups that we're looking at. So then all the flags that we draw, all the lines that we draw make sense because other traders are looking at them. This is actually could set up a very nice bounce on 305. Candle closed, so we're looking for either a bounce there or a flag break. Well, you could have also maybe bought on 20, even though it didn't really quite bounce there. I was playing with it, but he was mostly rejecting it from underneath. So it didn't really set up a second bounce on that level. But sometimes, traders have FOMO, and they could have done that. Okay, so I'm going to cut the stream here. If you guys want to trade with us in the chat room, this is what we do all day long. We determine setups, we call out entries, we tell you where our stop losses, we tell you what our profit targets are, and then continue to say where we add, where we take off throughout the day. So you can actually practice the knowledge that you have. The other thing I should note is that these streams are for traders only. If you're a beginner, all of this is going to sound like I'm speaking Chinese, and it's fine, as it should, because you don't have the education yet. So you make sure you get our course. The link is in bio, smallplayers.com/programs. Actually, just for you guys here still watching the stream, I'm going to leave the Halloween special discount for you in the description so you can still take advantage of that even though we're past Halloween. There you go. So I will see you guys in the chat room.